How you doing? I'm getting myself like all set up here behind the scenes because we doing something different tonight. Let's see here. Oh boy. I've been trying to do this all day and I just not getting anywhere with it. So we're gonna do it together and then I'm gonna make it to where people can watch this after the stream, hopefully. Hopefully. So let's get my screens together. Alright, so I'm going to teach you guys how to make the texture HUD and even a little bit of texturing tips. How to texture mesh, that's what we're doing in tonight's live stream. Now, I recorded this earlier today and I was just going to chop it up and edit it, but I screwed up about 50 times. And I was just like, I fucking hate editing. It's just really not one of my favorite things. And I don't like editing when there's like dialogue and stuff. If it was like a music video or something like that, then maybe I'd be better at that. But trying to like chop up words and make it all sound like it's supposed to make sense and shit is not my forte. So I'm going to just do this stream as if I was talking to OBS. You know what I'm saying? If you guys have questions or whatever you want to put inside the comment box, that's fine. I've got the chat up on my top monitor, so hopefully I can pay attention to that. But I am going to record this live stream like as if I just recorded it and then edited it and made you guys a nice pretty video of everything put together. Hopefully I won't be up here for like 4 hours trying to explain this, but if I am, oh well, I guess. Hello Blood Thing, how are you doing tonight? Today, wherever you are in the world. Let's see. I'm going to be working with 2 of my accounts here. We have Toxxic is online, and we also have Cursed Hexam online. But look, Cursed changed gingers and colors. So, where I'm going to keep her in male form just for this, just because it's a pain in the ass to put it back the other way. But any of the testing and everything like that I'll do on Toxxic. So I need to go ahead and make some textures for the top that went with this template that I purchased. So I got this template from Creative Scandal on the marketplace. So if you're a new creator and you're looking for good places to buy templates from, you can definitely check that store out. They are quite a bit more expensive than usual templates, but I can absolutely tell you that the quality, you're not missing the quality at all. They are really good quality templates, and she even is so kind to make like pre-made textures that go on top of, pre-made textures to go along with it if you're not really that great at texturing. Like, she gives pretty good bases, but I don't paint on those bases. I paint usually on a shadow map or an ambient occlusion. So I'm going to be texturing this top. I already made the jeans and I put them up on Marketplace last night. So if you're interested, if you want those jeans, you can just type, let's see, how can we get you there? You can type Cursed Hexam's name into the Marketplace and then you'll see the new alter ego Marketplace. I'm not releasing them as me. And the reason for that is just because, well, they're templates. And I'm tired of always getting shunned and told to go sit somewhere else, because I have templates on my marketplace or whatever. So I wanted Alter Ego to have its own marketplace, so that is where it's going. And Cursed will be the main creator of the new Alter Ego as I continue to texture templates whenever I damn well feel like it. So let's switch back to Cursed real quick and get some of this shit rezzed out on the floor. And I'm just going to teach you basically like how I do this stuff. Now, like, also please like Disclaimer, of course, my way is not the only way. Creators do this stuff so totally freaking different, and I'm just showing you the way that I do it. You guys can use your imagination and figure out different ways to accomplish the very same task, and you may do it completely different, and you may even do it with different scripts. But I've been promising for years that I was going to buy the PXL SmartHUD texture scripts and that I would do a tutorial and show you guys how to use that. So I figured out how to do it at a basic level. If you're just wanting to simply change the texture on a mesh, then I figured out how to make the HUD just be able to do that. Now, the more fancy ones, like if you're wanting to tint things or, I don't know, resize things or add materials or multiple pages, this is still something that I'm going to have to keep learning myself. But I even had like a couple of questions when I got off stream yesterday, and people were like, yeah, when are you going to have that video out? And I'm like, damn, I literally just learned this like in the past 2 days. So here we are. Okay, so let's go find that template box real quick. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to just explain it like how I did in the video. This is pretty much how it looks whenever you open that template box. Of course, it's named something else. I've already renamed and got everything sorted, but you're going to have a group of mesh objects, shadow maps for the pants and the tops. These are actually texture boxes that you can open, and she's already pre-made textures for you. So, I mean, I guess that's like good if you're not super skilled on texturing this stuff. And then you also get the UV maps. The only things that I care about out of this box are going to be the shadow map for the top. So I'm just going to take that with me here, save it, and then I'm going to res all of these objects out again. Let me pull my website too on my other monitor, because I want to tell you about some things that make a creator's life easier, slightly easier. A couple tools that one tool, for instance, that I feel like is extremely important is this one. The You as the Creator tool. I know I've talked about it on this channel before, probably back when I was doing more tutorial-like videos, but what this little doohickey does is basically you just throw all your meshes into this little glowy sphere, and then you touch it, and then it adds a prim, your root prim, to all of your meshes for you, and it makes you the creator of your mesh, basically. So yes, you can do this by hand. It's annoying and it takes a bunch of time. This is super easy because whenever you open your template box, you can just throw your meshes in it and click it, and then start doing something else while it's running. So I would definitely recommend you pick something like that up. And when it comes to like scripting things for like texture scripts, it doesn't matter if you created the mesh or not. You still have to attach a root prim to it, because that's how the HUD communicates from the object that sticks on your screen to your actual mesh. So even though you created your own mesh, if you're going to texture HUD it, you're going to have to attach a root prim to it regardless. So this could be for original content creators and then creators that use templates in order to create their content. Okay? Capiche, capiche. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I just dropped all of those objects out on the floor, but I'm just going to be working on the top. So I'm just going to take the top pieces back into my inventory. Just like that. I don't even need the pants because I've already done them. So we're just going to delete that to keep it somewhat tidy over here. Is this mine? Yes, it's mine. Okay, so here's the little doohickey, the little You as the Creator tool. Now, this thing is super easy to set up. It's like 2 steps inside the note card that it comes with. So it's not a pain in the ass to put together at all. It's a lifesaver. So I'm going to take the sleeves and the tube top that I just picked up, and I'm just going to drag and slide them into the contents of my little You as the Creator tool. Then I'm going to click on it and I'm going to choose up, because I always lose shit if I choose anything else. So I'm just going to let it send all of those pieces up in the air. And what it's doing is it's resing them. And then in a minute, it's going to, right now, it's applying a prim that's created by Cursed to all of the mesh pieces. It's great. I used to do this all myself. Like, ugh, the pain. And I can't even remember who told me about this, but I think I was on a live stream and they were like, why are you attaching the prim like a noob? And I'm like, oh no. It's like, I've been doing this for so long, it was not phasing me anymore to do it the other way. Done. Okay, so let's do this. Here, I'm just selecting all of them. And we're going to move that to the side. I'm going to throw them all on the ground. Same with the sleeves. We're going to move them over here. And we're going to... I'm just aligning them to the floor so they're all aligned right there. Okay, so now I'm just going to like take them and drag them out here. I do this for literally every single time. Yes. Okay, it's not for me. 1 second. Okay. So let's click on one of these so we can just verify here what we've done. All right, so see, it made it to where Cursed is now showing as the creator of these mesh objects. Good? Good. So from here, I think it's probably best to go ahead and just select everything. We're going to change the permissions on it. Needs to be modify, no transfer. And since I have everything selected and I just clicked both of those options, now every single one of them are no mod and no transfer. Next, now this is something probably, there may be something that will automate too. I've heard through the grapevine that there's something you can buy that'll help you like name your meshes automated, like how I just connected the prim. If that exists, cool. That's not how I do it. Because I don't even know what that thing be called. So I'm just going to sit here and name all this stuff real quick. Also, too, it's kind of like part of the OCD that gets satisfied whenever I do clothing. Because that is what happens. I have a little degree of some OCD that happens. Alright, so I'm just going to name these real quick. It is like annoying, I'm sorry. These would be the things that I could like fast forward through if I was really editing. I really just have a hard time with it. I am a live stream person all the way now. I think it's going to be really freaking hard to get me to do anything the other way ever again. This was Maitreya, I hope. Or was it Freya? Oh, fuck, I don't know. Oh, no, that's Freya, okay. Freya. Oh, shit. Oh, no, I didn't look. Hang on. We can skip it. Isis. And Hourglass. I'm trying to do this quickly because I don't want y'all to have to be here all night. Alright, so now we have everything named. The permissions are changed. So all of that right there, everything is ready to go. Okay? Same process from if you were using a Bosch script. Actually, most of all of this is the same. It's just that the format in which you script, you script is inside of an actual script. It's not a note card and it's not using the description. You're actually going to put that formula inside of the script and then that's it. That's all you do. So in my opinion, it's slightly easier than Bosch, because Bosch, remember, you have to drop in a license script. You have to wait for that to like calculate and everything like that. And yeah, like it's a little bit more annoying because whenever you validate that everything, or you validate, is that the right word? Validate? confirm. As long as when you confirm that everything is working, you'd have to take the license script out, and then you'd have to reset everything and pray that whenever you clicked on that button that the HUD texture was actually going to work. With this one, I find like it's much more easy, because once you confirm that it's working, you can literally just pick it up and put it inside your box and set it for sale. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, so now we have our mesh pieces ready to go. I'm gonna switch back over to Photoshop. And this is actually the little texture HUD that I made in the video that I was recording for you guys, so I'll go ahead and keep using that. But I'm going to come back over to the textures, because that is one part that I actually want to just kind of cover over again. Like, I have probably 50 texturing tutorials that are older on this channel, but I don't know. It's like some people seem to catch that stuff, and then some people, they completely miss it and just think that I've never shown people how to texture before. So, okay, so this is the shadow map that came with the templates that I purchased on the marketplace. So if you're kind of new to Second Life and this map right here, this image looks kind of foreign to you, let me just kind of give you an overview of what everything is, or what has happened rather. So the person that created this top, you know, if you don't know anything about UV mapping, the best way that I can explain it is if you think about a cube and you have to take it all apart where it's like completely flat. So you would like rip up the seams and, you know, make it like completely open it up, like as if you wanted it to be a 2D view instead of seeing it as a 3D view. So that's basically the same thing that she's done with the top. She's broken it up into pieces to where they can be laid out completely flat, where you're able to pretty much texture with ease as far as either just using color or patterns. So let me just explain what each part is. So maybe that will make a little bit more sense to somebody who might be new. So this little bit right here is the knot that's at the middle section here. It's just these pieces, not the little hang down pieces, but just this little knot part. Okay, so we're going to come back here, and then these pieces right here are the sleeves. Now, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't checked, but I'm not sure really if this is the right sleeve, this is the left sleeve, or if it's the other way around, but through a little bit of trial and error, you can definitely figure that out. These pieces here are going to be the little rope pieces. I call them rope pieces, like, I don't know, the pieces that are hanging down right here. So if you can imagine those just stretched out in that texture that's on it being completely flat, that's what that is. And then this part right here is the tube top. Multiply, just set it just like that. So I could probably even do you one better here. Let's just save that. And let's just apply it to the mesh in Second Life so we can just confirm my... Hello? We can just confirm what I'm saying here. Man, earlier it was letting me click it, and now it's not letting me click it. I hate USL. You are a piece of shit, 90. Oh, you know why? Just kidding. Hang on. Oh, don't flash you. Woo! I caught it just in time. Okay. We need the full permission copies. 1 second. Here. Nope. That's not what I need. There we go. Now. There we go. Now we can click it. Alright, so I'm just going to load that sample texture in real quick, and it's just going to show you, like, the colors of where everything was. Voila. So my guess was about right. The one part is the knot, one part is the top tube top little part, one part's the sleeves, one part is the rope bits that are hanging out, and guess what? Guess who's calling me right now? My cats. 1 second. coffee, Lynn? Alright. Alright, here we go. Oh, be quiet. Stop bitching at me. So that basically is a rundown of what each section is. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Mommy does not want you up here right now. He was all crawling up here like he's here for the party. All right, I'm just going to take these off. So we have this shadow map, but it is very flat, has no depth to it whatsoever. It is, I wouldn't say it's terrible quality. I've seen worse. The best thing I can say about this is that it is not grainy. It doesn't have noise in it. That is the best, because if it had all those things, then I would want to apply like a smoothing program or something to it. But I'm just going to leave it as is, because really I think it's fine. Now, another disclaimer. I don't use Substance Painter. Hang on a second. I am a... Okay, that's just a teleport. I thought like someone was eyeing me. I'm a Photoshop baby through and through. I don't use Substance Painter or any other program to help me texture. So I'm just going to show you like how I do this, and I literally do this almost every single time. And the reason why I don't use those other programs is kind of it not really interest me very much. I mean, aside from being able to do like a pattern or something, like I feel like I would use Substance Painter if I made like buildings. And if I did something that had like more nature or something like that, or like rocks or metals or something like that, something more, I don't know if I would use it for clothing, because I'm really happy with where I am texturing wise for my clothing, that, I don't know, I just don't personally find the need for that. Now, I can see, like, if you're wanting to add, like, certain highlights and stuff that you wouldn't be able to do, like, in Photoshop with your mouse or whatever, I totally get it. But that's, like, more advanced texturing than really that I ever do for myself. So, I've always just been happy with my caliber of texturing, so I haven't gone to try to, like, expand that. Absolutely, if you guys find that Substance Painter is something easier for you to texture in and that works for you, then go subscribe to it and learn it, because I have seen some really awesome freaking things that come out of it. But for my stuff, I've just really never felt the need to do all that advanced texturing, and I just try to keep it very simple. So I think also that's the reason why that is because I texture templates, and some of them can be kind of limiting to what you can do with it, you know? Only people that texture templates understand what I'm talking about, because we're not modeling it, we're not selecting the faces, we're not grouping the faces. All that work has already been done. So if I was the person that was creating that stuff from scratch, I probably would have UV'd it different. You know, I probably would have made it to where I could have given myself even more freedom, or a precise type of, you know, freedom to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could customize it a little bit better if it was me doing that stuff. So you're kind of limited to whatever the choices the modeler went with. And so that, I guess that's kind of why I never tried to expand on my texturing skills. But again, I'm super happy with my texturing skills. I love how everything comes out whenever I'm done finagling with it, and I'm happy. So, okay, so from here, as you can see, this shadow map is very flat, and I want to bring some kind of depth to it. Now, I have a signature texture that I use all the time. I've been using this texture since like fucking 2 years ago with Alter Ego, and I just regurgitate it all the time. I created this texture by, I think, I have said this before on other live streams, and I know I've said it in other tutorials before. I think I created it by just doing like a white, I don't know, like a 1024 by 1024 white texture. Then I added some noise to it, and then I did like a blur, like a radial blur, and then made it like stretched out a little bit, and then I added more. You know, I just kept doing like different things with it until I got it to look kind of like cotton, like a Hanes t-shirt is kind of the texture that I was going for. And this is it right here. I always have it in my library on my Photoshops, and this texture has come with me a really freaking long way over the years, but I don't ever replace it, and I haven't even tried to make it again. So this is like my signature cotton texture. But as you can see, I overlaid it. It has a linear burn on the blend mode, and as you can see, it added a lot of like texture and a little bit of depth to the shadow map. It's not so flat and smooth. It doesn't need to be smooth, because if you think about it, the fabric needs to be like a t-shirt type of texture, I would think. I'm wearing a soft wash t-shirt right now from Old Navy, and so when I'm looking at the texturing that's on it, that's kind of the same effect that I would like to have on this image. And we're pretty much there, I feel like. Maybe it can come down just a smidge, and about right there, to where like you can notice it, but it's not overpowering. Something else that I like to do is I kind of like to play with the exposure on the shadow map. Sometimes I like for the shadow map to be darker. Sometimes I want it to be lighter. It just kind of depends on what I'm doing as far as the colors. For this release, I guess the color range, let's see. I kind of want this to be a little bit darker, but I want the highlights to pop out a little bit more. So let's see if I can duplicate what I made earlier today. I'm just going to go to Image, Adjustments, Exposure. This little doohickey pops up, and I'm just going to kind of move the sliders back and forth. Now I'm paying attention to all the really dark spots. I don't want them to go like completely black. Trust me, it gets kind of muddy, and then it's just like, it's like burnt, you know what I'm saying? It just goes all the wrong direction. So even if I just move these kind of slightly, I still want to be able to see like a little bit of texturing and stuff happening up here. I don't want the shadows to get too dark. But I still want to be able to see like the highlights and stuff like that. That's really what I'm looking for, is the highlights. And honestly, I think right there is fine, but I don't want it to be washed out either, right? So I'm just kind of moving these. Honestly, I'm good with it being just like that. That's fine. So not so dark, but also, not washed out either. Okay, let's see. And I think what I did, I know you guys probably don't have this plugin, but if you decide to texture clothing, this might be something you want to purchase. It's Topaz Labs Adjust 5. Now basically what this program does is it's just going to add sharpening, a little bit of noise, probably add some highlights and all that different kind of stuff all in one swing instead of me having to do it manually. But I usually just hit it with detail light. And if I zoom in here a little bit, like you guys can barely see what it does, right? It's not a drastic change, but it does tend to kind of make those wrinkles pop out a little bit more. And that's what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and press OK. So there is a pretty good base texture to work with to be able to throw some colors on. Now, I've been doing this kind of work for 12 years, and I kind of know what colors that I want to put inside my package. So I already have them ready to go. Because I already did the pants. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I went in, after I got to 10 colors, I made like some different patterns on the pants. So I planned on doing the same thing with this, but I'm only going to drag you through 5 colors, okay? We'll just keep it pretty simple. So I was showing in that video earlier on like my tips and tricks on how to make black look more realistic, and like how to have red pop out like this. having it with like highlights going on, and the shadows are in the right place, all that kind of stuff. And really all of that stuff, all that is just messing with the blend modes and changing the like adjustments and stuff like that on each layer until you get it to where it looks right in your eyes, right? So let's start off with an easier color. Let's go with the red color on this one, I guess. Oh no, I don't want you in there. Alrighty. Is this the right red color? Ah, no. The other one. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. So, I mentioned before... No, I didn't mention it in this video. I'm getting confused because I've already recorded this once today. My favorite blending options, here's the blending options on Photoshop. My favorite ones to use are Multiply, Linear Burn, Overlay, Soft Light, and Color. I don't really use any of the other ones that are on here ever for anything. So usually whenever I'm sitting here and I'm getting ready to texture something, I kind of flip through the blending modes that I like to see what it's going to do to the shadow map, like, so I can try to decide on where I'm going to go with it. So here we go. There's Multiply. That one looks pretty good. You could probably release it just like that. There's Linear Burn. That would be okay if you were doing something like kind of gothic, but I think I ended up using Linear Burn, but we're going to change the opacity and bring that down a little bit so it's not so harsh. That is Overlay, and that looks absolutely terrible. Unless you were going for like maybe a latex, if you were trying to make something kind of more like it's got a reflection, or if it's like plastic or shiny, maybe that would work. Soft Light just completely took all of the coloring away, so I don't like that. And then Color makes it look like a cartoon. Excuse me. Fat cat. Excuse me. Fat cat. Can you move over there? Thank you. Woo! Sorry. Color. Looks absolutely horrible. So I'm gonna go back to Linear Burn. Okay, let's bring this down a little bit. As you can see, like while we're bringing it down, you can see that the highlights and stuff, the highlights and the shadows are kind of looking better and better and better as I bring it down. But I'll leave it at like 60. I hate this color. Like, what is going on with this color? It's not what I had on there originally. This is better. And it's still very, very dark though. So it makes me want to play with this a little bit more. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. We're going to exposure. I mean, this looks better to me. That's fine. It's fine, Toxxic. It's just an example. It doesn't have to be perfect, but that's actually good. You could use that exactly where it's at, even if we bumped it just a little bit more. There. And I'm just gonna hit it again with that adjustment layer, and that actually looks okay to me. I'm just gonna save it because again, we ain't trying to really 100% go hard on this shit. We are doing this for tutorial purposes. Let's go ahead and let's make a black. Okay, so a black with Linear Burn is gonna be really fucking dark. It's gonna be really, really dark. It's gonna like, yeah, it's gonna completely drown out everything. So this is how I combat this little problem here. So I'm gonna make it like gray, like as dark a gray as I can, about right there. That's not even fucking dark. That's like kind of light. But it's about to that shade right there. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new layer, then I'm gonna come back up here, I'm gonna do apply image, and then I'm gonna put a fill layer, and I'm gonna choose my A black, and then kind of just run down this. Let's see, how does it look with overlay? Looks okay with overlay, but I think let's try this here on multiply. So about like that. And then I'm going to take one of these copies of the highlights down here. I'm going to move that layer up and I'm going to switch it to overlay. So as you can see, the highlights and the shadows are much more prominent with that move right there. Maybe a little bit too much because it almost makes this look leathery. Like, maybe not leathery, but like pleather. Like, it kind of looks fake, right? It has a little bit too much of the highlights and stuff going on. So you can just bring the opacity down so you're comfortable with the way that looks about there. Looks fine to me. And we'll just take this one and we'll throw it on there and see if it matches like the jeans and stuff like that. So I'm just going to replace that. So that's the black is down. You're probably going to have to do the same thing for anything that's like a dark color. So if we're going to do like navy, or if we're going to do like purple, I think I did purple on the examples that I was using earlier. But as you can see, like this is really like a very good, it's a good shade to be like throwing color on because everything looks really realistic. It looks perfect. So I'm just going to keep that vibe going there with purple. And what other one? Purple, and I did pink and white. Now, oh my goodness, let's see. Let's throw a pink on here. Pink is sometimes a pain in the ass. It doesn't always follow my multiply, linear burn, overlay process. Like, let's try color. And I think that's too burnt. Like, I don't like the way that that looks. Somebody else might, but I feel like it's getting too burnt here in the shadows, and that's going to look like that on your model. It's not going to look cute at all. It is not a look. So, let's see. This is better for me. Again, it does look kind of plasticky, but the more we move and move these layers around and then kind of just adjust the exposure on them, we'll be able to pull this out like really quick. Let's see here. All right. I think let's take this. What is this? What's this? No. Here we go. Okay, so multiply looks pretty bad. That one's okay, but not good. That one's not good. Now, the hard light. Hard light sometimes is like last resort. I use hard light with more lighter colors, like pastel colors. Definitely white and grays. I think I get away with like a hard light setting much easier than if I was to use it with like darker colors, because it would just probably fry the shit out of it. So this looks okay to me. It's just very blown out, I guess would be the right word for it. So I'm just going to bring the opacity down to 90, and then I'm going to play with these other layers and see if I can't get that to look a little bit better. Oh, that's interesting. But there's like no cotton texture on it at all. That looks a little bit better. A little bit better. I think the pink that I had before was different though than what I'm doing here. Slightly different. It's just a slightly different shade. playing tricks on me. I do favor, I think I favor that one. So let me just look. Well, that could be cute too. Probably lighter though. Damn if that freaking gray wasn't on there. Here, let's just roll with this as a test texture. See how that comes out. If it's fug, then we'll change it. Whoops. Where are we at here? Definitely different than the one I had on before. And for a white is usually kind of tricky too. Let's see. I like my whites to be kind of, I don't know what the right word for it is. Bright. Like, sometimes people, when they're doing white, they end up like, it gets like very, like, it's white, but it's got really dark shadows. And like, I don't know. I don't really like my shadows to be that dark. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit to like there. And I'm gonna do, let's see. Yeah, I brought the pattern up just a little bit. That's starting to look a little bit better to me. Except for I'm gonna lower it just a little. And I'm gonna do the apply image. And then I'm gonna hit it with the adjustment layer again. And to me, that looks okay. So we'll just test run it. If it's too harsh, then we'll come back in and just kind of lighten it up. Alrighty, let me see where I'm at here. Did it? Yeah. I don't know why it didn't ask me to overwrite that. Okay, so let's just like go and take a look and see what these textures look like on the model, shall we? Shall we? Alright, so I'm just going to grab all this stuff, and we're going to load in the textures here, and I'm just going to kind of click through them so we can see what's going on, and turn the shadow, or highlight rather, off. Okay, so there's the black. Puff, shit, that black might even look better than the one that I made earlier today. So that looks good to me. We can cross-check it with the pants though in a second. Let's take a look at the pink. You know what I don't like about this is that for some reason those wrinkles look like not realistic really right here on the side. So I don't know if I'll keep that pink for the actual release or if I'll dump that. But the purple looks nice. The red is horrible. I don't like that color red, but it's good for tutorial's sake. And then the white, I think the white looks fine also. So let's just go ahead and roll with those colors just for tutorial's sake. And they might be different on the actual release. Let's see, where we go from here. Let's make a texture HUD. So go ahead and save this. Aussie? What? What do you want from me? He's attacking the mic. Sorry. Hey, I am busy right now, buddy. I don't want to be on live all night. Do you need a cookie or something? Or you just want to be held? You're being so sweet, but you gotta move. Come on. Come up here. He's such a pain in the ass. I swear he only... Well, no, I'm lying. He does not only act like this when I'm live. He does act like extra bitchy whenever I'm live. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this stuff off so I can show you just what this is. It is just a rectangle a horizontal landscape rectangle that I opened in Photoshop. I put a little border around it because I didn't want it to be too boring. Went ahead and put my logo on here. And I'll just teach you guys how I go through and create my swatches. Alright, so basically all I did is I threw the textures in that we just created into Photoshop, and I overlaid them one after the other so they are right on top of each other. Lines are straight and everything. So I just need a swatch from this, you know, I just need a color. So I'm gonna use the crop tool and just drag it over the back side of the tube top there because it has like the best, just kind of a flat texture. And I'm gonna press OK. So that actually cut the image. So now all we have left is the little swatch square. So you can pull this out. I have the top one highlighted. I'm going to press shift and click the bottom to where all four are highlighted. And then I'm just going to drag and drop them on my texture HUD. You can close out of that because you don't need it anymore. So here we go. We're just going to line these up. There's only 5 of them because we just doing examples. And I figured I should probably show all this because it's not really, my process on how I do this stuff is not much different than the tutorials that I had like 5 years ago on this channel. But I still think for the sake of like people might run across this video and be new to Second Life, and since it's a relatively new how-to video, they might not know how to do any of this stuff. Now, I see inside the chat I have a bunch of my regulars here. Obviously, you guys are probably way well advanced past this part, but I'm speaking more to people that kind of just don't really know, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully you have enough Photoshop skills to at least get here, because I know I'm kind of running through this fast, because if I don't run through it fast, then I'm going to be here for 2 hours, and nobody's going to rewatch a 2-hour video. So I am kind of trying to like, this is how I do it, this is how I do it, this is how I do it, this is how I do it. Try to do it yourself, you know what I'm saying? So once we have the swatches laid out here, you know, your HUD might have more. You might have 20 swatches. You might have 10 swatches. We're just going to do 5 for the example purpose. I'm going to go ahead and throw the outline that was on them whenever we opened it back on, and we can just save this as a JPEG. Texture HUD base. We'll override this one that was already there. Okay, so I think right now we're completely done with everything that has to do with Second Life. Now we're going to switch back over. I'm sorry. We're done with everything that has to do with Photoshop, and we're going to switch back over to Second Life. So we need to go ahead and upload those textures that we just made. So this is how you do it here. I did it really fast. You go to Build, you go to Upload, and then you click on Bulk. And we're just going to select all the textures that we just made for the top and for the texture HUD. Let's get all those uploaded. Alrighty here. So, alright, now I just figured something out after I was recording the video from earlier. I made a really big boo-boo, and it's actually something just because I'm not super familiar with this yet, so I'm still having to do this to try to identify the front of the HUD. And it's cool that they actually put this in here. So I'm going to create a prim on the ground. Then I'm going to put this pixel tool face identifier. Again, these are the scripts that we're using. You find them on the marketplace. You can go to Pixel SmartHUD. I've shown it a couple of times over the course of the past couple days. This is the texture scripts that I'm using. Marketplace, I think it's like 9,000 and some change lindens. So what we're going to do is we're dropping this cube on the ground. This is going to be the base of our HUD. And we're going to throw the face identifier inside. Now what this is going to do is, as you can see, it made one of the faces red. This is the front of the HUD. So whenever you attach it to your screen, this is going to be the face that is showing on your screen. My dumbass went ahead and just made the HUD, and then whenever I was done and I had everything working, I passed it to Toxxic, and the moment that I put the HUD on the screen, it flipped backwards. And I was like, what the fuck? So I had to go back and I had to read the manual a little bit. So this thing will actually choose the face that you're going to be seeing on your screen. So it avoids you from A, putting it on backwards, B, it flipping backwards when your customer puts it on, and C, I had a C, and then I read y'all's chat. Oh my god. I don't know what C was, but trust me, it's gonna avoid many, many problems. So just go ahead and do that, okay? So as you can see, it did delete itself out, but this is still red. I'm gonna keep it red for just a moment, just so we know which face is being used. So from here, I'm just gonna throw my texture that I made on the side that is red. So now we're all good to go. Now we can take the red. Now we can take the red off, okay? I'm going to resize this so these are actually squares again. Here we go, squares. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and make the texture buttons. So again, if you have followed my Bosch tutorials, we're not really doing anything new here. It's the same setup. So you're going to create a little prim, and you're gonna put the prim over. Now I know there are some people out there that they would make this blank with no textures on it, but then they would save these swatches as PNG files, and then they would actually put like this texture right here of this swatch on this outside face here to make it to where it doesn't get fuzzy. That's perfectly fine. If that's your method of how you do stuff, then you do your thing, boo-boo. But I'm just saying that this is the way that I do this stuff. Okay, okay, so you create your prim, you resize it, and then in order to duplicate that prim, you need to press Shift, and then you can press any of those arrows, and it will keep duplicating your prim. Okay, for people that don't know how to duplicate prims. Alright, so I'm going to select all of my, these are called child prims, by the way, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to select all of these. These are going to be our actual buttons that your customer will click to be able to change the texture of the tube top. And from here, let's see, on this HUD is very basic. But the system can do very much, it can do a lot more intricate, more advanced texture HUDs. This one that I'm showing you is very basic, so we don't even have a close button. We don't have any buttons on here for social media. We don't have anything fancy on here, no color picker, all that kind of shit. We don't need that right now. We're just doing the very basic stuff. All we're doing is setting texture for these tube tops that are floating above me. Okay, so from here I'm just going to press Shift, and I'm going to select the base back here, which is going to be known as your root prim. And the way you know that you have your root prim or you have this set up correctly is that your child prims are going to be highlighted with this aqua blue color, and then your root prim is going to be highlighted yellow. That's how you know. So if you think about it too, like the big prim here is like the mama and these are the babies, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can think about it that way as well. Same thing needs to happen with the texture HUD as it happened on your mesh objects. You need to set it to no modify, no transfer, and then go ahead and change the name. Whoops. Okay, so now we have all that set up. Let's go ahead and I'm scared to rotate it. I'm scared to like rotate it and work on it the other way because I'm scared I'm to break the fucking thing. Alright, so from here, I've just linked parts, and I'm going to click these child prims, and I'm actually going to make them transparent so I can see what I'm doing. And what I went ahead and did once I figured all this out, you might want to do this too with your folder. I went ahead and I made subfolders. I made a folder that says inside of the HUD. These are the scripts that go inside of your HUD here. and inside of your product. These are the scripts that go inside your actual product. Okay, so I just had them separated because this starts to look very confusing if you just keep, you just keep looking at this. Like, it's hard to remember that this is the root receiver because there's something else down here that says receiver. It just gets confusing. So I went ahead and just made the subfolders. Same thing goes on your permissions for your scripts. I believe most of these are sent to you full permission, but you need to go through and make sure that you change on the properties tab. They need to be no modify, no transfer for the next person. So all of them need to be just copy. And I guess, I don't know, I kind of played around with the permissions and stuff like that, and it kind of screwed up every single time, so I guess I would just recommend to it being that no modify, no transfer. Okay, so from here, let me think for a second. We need to, actually, let's just go ahead and drag and drop the scripts in. And when I did do the tutorial earlier, now, whenever you read the manual on this thing, the manual is very well written. I have no doubt in my mind that if you buy this system and you read the manual, you will definitely figure it out. However, I got stuck, and I read the manual, and I still got stuck. I had to call one of my girlfriends to see, just to confirm how I was doing it and trying to figure out why my HUD wasn't working. So even I read the manual, I did it step by step on the manual, and I still fucked up and couldn't get it to work. So that's why I'm thinking, go ahead and just show them what you've learned already. And hopefully this will be easier for somebody that might find themselves in the same arena that I was, where I was just completely confused. And I was confused because of the terminology. Here I am, 12 years in the Second Life. I've been using Bosch my entire career here. So the terminology was a little bit different when it comes to this system. And I was getting super mixed up. Like, it was all right in front of my face. I just had one thing wrong. And whenever I corrected it, I hit the HUD and everything magically worked. And I was like, I get it now. I get it. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's go ahead and just highlight transparent. You do that by pressing Control-Alt-T. And as you can see, everything that has some kind of alpha on it has turned red on the screen. So I'm going to come in here. And this is just personal preference because it's annoying to me where that little you as the creator tool put our root prims. I like them to be like up a little bit here where we can see them, That's fine on the sleeves, it's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and select everything here. And just for the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and texture the sleeves and the top part at the same time. This script system can also work with faces. If you have like 2 or 3 different faces and you want to change them all in one button, you can absolutely do that. But for this sake, we're just doing something very simple. So I'm going to go ahead and just set it up to where it's gonna, when you click the one button, it's gonna texture the sleeves and the top at the same time. Okay, so just very simple. I promise I will come back with more advanced tutorials once I figure it out. So I have them all selected. So I'm going to press Edit Linked Parts, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to deselect all of their root prims. The root prims is the object that is storing the information for the name of your product. So the name of the product is Alter Ego Lily Tops, and that's what the name of the root prim, like right here, that's where it stores that name. So we need to deselect that. The only thing that I need selected right now is the mesh pieces. So whenever I change the name right here, it's only going to change the mesh objects. It's not going to change the name of the product. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because that's where I got confused. I think for Bosch, they literally said it's object name. This would be the object name. And then whenever you select the mesh with the root prim, that would be the product name. That's how I understood it. For this system, they actually call this the product name. And then I'm not even sure what how they set it to like name the actual product, like the alter ego lily top. I don't even know what they call that, but I know that this right here is referred to product naming. For me, it's object naming. So I'm going to set this all to say lily top. And I believe, if now somebody can correct me inside the comments if you want to, I think everything has to be capitalized. I did try it earlier where I named my objects with capitalized letters, and then in the script I did lowercase letters and nothing worked. So then I went back to the script and I made everything capitalized and it worked. So I don't know if that's a me screw up thing or if that's actually how everything's supposed to be, capital letters on everything. So have everything selected. That's lily top. I'm going to just leave it at that and let go. And you can go ahead and check to make sure that that worked correctly, because they still need to be linked together to the root prim so you can actually have your product name. The only thing that changed is if we edit linked parts and we click the actual mesh itself, now it says lily top. You need that. It's like a keyword type of, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to deselect the, we're going to turn the highlighting transparent off. Control Alt T turns that off. T as in Tom. And now we can just drop our scripts into all of the pieces and then drop it into the HUD. Now there is a step that I mentioned last night. I think that this is really important for me not to actually show you guys, because it's my actual number. Like, there's a license code validator thingamabob inside of this package. It's right here. You drag and drop that to the ground, and when you click it, it's going to give you an individual key that only belongs to you. And it did say inside the note card, do not share the number after you click it, because then I guess other people can either steal your stuff or they can make HUDs like as your number or whatever. And it also, the person that is selling the objects has to be the one like doing the scripts. So I did try to, like, because I bought the system on Toxxic too, so I tried to script the objects on Toxxic and then pass everything over to Cursed, and it did not work. So whatever avatar you're selling these products through need to be the one owning the scripts, because I don't think you can pass it back and forth. It's just with the permissions on that kind of shit, the security, it's not going to let you do it that way. With Bosch, I could have scripted everything and then set everything full permission and sent it to Cursed. Then Cursed could have just reset all the permissions and been able to sell it herself and not had to have textured it. I mean, not had to have scripted it. I don't think that's the case with this one, and I think that's just like a layer of security that they put in there, which I ain't mad. I'm just saying that so far that's my experience with this. If anybody knows otherwise, feel free to add that in the comments. Okay, so whenever you click this little doohickey in local, it's going to give you a number. You should make note of that number. Don't share that number with anybody, as it says, and I'm also not going to share that number with you. However, the scripts, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to slide this over in just a second, and I'm going to show you on a note card how you set the scripts up inside of the script. And I hope that that'll at least make it click for you, because it's literally just like Bosch, except for it's just kind of organized different. So once you get your little validator number, make note of it, make a note card or something like that, because even if you were to res that on the ground and click it again, it's going to give you the same number. So that is definitely your number, belongs to you only, keep it secret. From here though, let me think about this. Hang on a second. Take a look at my Just Keep Swimming turtle. I'm going to take my number out of this just so I can show you how to do it. Okay, so remember earlier okay, like just now, we just named the objects, right? Lily top. So the two things that you need to remember whenever you're doing these scripts is you need to have your license ID handy, and then also take note of whatever you named your objects. So this is the Oh, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Okay, so let me actually do this a different way because there is a warning at the beginning of this. I'm just going to show you... I'm just going to show you the formula in which this is. Shut up, Ozzy! And then I'll show you the formula in which you set up this script. But then, let's see here. Sorry, I'm just moving stuff around so where, like, I can make this understandable for you guys, this part. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to I'm going to go ahead and just drag and drop. Well, fuck me. Hang on a second. This is hard whenever you're not supposed to be showing anything. How am I supposed to teach people if I can't show them how to do something? One sec. I mean, I understand why. I'm just trying to figure out how am I going to do this. And I've also lost my my ID number. Here I am telling you guys to save it, and I fucking lost it. Alright, here we go. And I'm just going to change this. Okay, so whenever you're setting this up inside this script, you open the config script for the scripts that you're going to put inside your HUD. And it'll tell you this in the manual too, and it also tells you on the exact script that here is where you paste your SmartHUD license code, okay? You paste it in that spot. The directions are in red, the actual script is in black. It's very fucking easy to follow, trust me. The next part is that product name that we just changed. So you would, for instance, I called mine Lily Top. That's what you would paste into the product name. And then you scroll down a little bit, and then it also has a section where it says list textures. And that is what I'm going to show you right now. The list textures part. This is the best. This is how I'm going to script these objects right here. So this number 1 right here pertains to the number on the HUD. And actually, let's do that right now. When you open up the manual for the Pixel SmartHUD stuff, they have like a glossary of keywords that you can type in for like different buttons on your HUD. Like they have one that says URL, and whenever the URL button is clicked, it will direct you to whatever website I think you put inside the description. Same thing for like the close button. It's probably called closed or detached, something like that. And then there's also, let's see, what did I use on one of them? I used the Linktree, and I think that was the URL one also. So you would use that for like social media buttons, etc. But in this case, we're just wanting to texture. So the keyword for that button is literally going to be texture. So you're going to do edit linked parts. I'm going to click on all of the child prims, just like that. And this is how it is written in the glossary. Oh my god, it's not. It's capitalized. Sorry. Texture. So you're going to do the open and close brackets. And then inside of that, you're going to write texture. And then on every single one of these buttons, they need to be numbered. Just like it was with Bosch. You would name that, I think it was texture. And then in the description, you would be like 1, 2, 3, all the way down your HUD, okay? So we're just going to name that one 1, this one 2, this one 3, this one 4, and this one 5. Okay? So it has to match that sequence inside listing textures on that script. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to show it to you because I actually didn't even read the warning from yesterday, but if you really wanted to see what that part looks like, then I recorded a little bit of it yesterday without showing you guys like my validator code or whatever. So this first number right here has to deal with the button number. This right here has to deal with the product name. So this for me is going to change to Lily Pants. I'm sorry, Lily Top. This right here is the texture UUID, and you guys know how to claim those things. You just right click and you do copy UUID, and you would go ahead and paste it there. And the all pertains to, I want it to texture all faces. So in this case, we have 5 lines of buttons, because 5 lines to do because we have 5 buttons. Hope that makes sense. So you would literally just do this inside the script, except for these numbers need to change in the order that you're doing your HUD, just like this. So that's button 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then the UUIDs are going to need to switch too, pertaining to what they are on your HUD. So the first one is going to be pink. Ugh, I haven't logged out all day. I still have the old textures from the first time that I did this. Okay, the second one is going to be purple. And I don't really give a shit if you guys see these texture UUIDs. I'm not going to be using them for anything else. The third one is going to be red. So you're just copying and pasting. I'm telling you, I feel so sorry for people that would have like fucking like 60 lines of texture or something. You've got to be going extremely fucking cross-eyed. Oh my god, this says 4. So, or that says 5. Okay, so 4 is going to be white. I've even seen one. I asked my friend if I could see how she does hers so I could try to put 2 and 2 together or what I was missing. And when I looked at hers, I was like, Jesus Christ, how did you even not go fucking completely cross-eyed and screw that all up? I would have gone... It would have been such a headache to set up all those freaking textures in that script. But something that I did find that was a little bit easier is by setting it up inside of a note card like this. That's actually pretty helpful. Or you can always use the notepad that's on your computer, like Windows notepad. You can use that as well. So something else that I did notice that was inside of the manual, and aside from watching this tutorial, I highly suggest that you go and read the manual so you can understand the terminology that they use with the system and get used to it and, like, you know, make memory of it, memorize it, all that kind of stuff. So whenever you're done with your line of coding, your very last piece right here does not have to have a comma behind it. So whatever your very last number is, whether it be 10, 20, 40, it's not supposed to have a comma after it, because then right here, I believe it's like a, I think it's a close bracket and then it's a colon, and that's exactly how it needs to be. So if you're setting it up on an outside note card like this, just make sure that whenever you paste your line of text here, that you paste it just perfect, because I swear one little beep like that, one little space is going to screw that script all the way up. So let's just, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it into the script on my other screen and go ahead and drop it in to make sure. Lily pants. It's not Lily, it's Lily. Lily top. Okay. And we got the code in there. Okay, so let's paste this. I swear this will make much more sense to you whenever you get a hold of the script. I swear. Okay. Alright, we have compile successful, save complete. So that worked. Just like how I showed you right there. If you copy and paste and you do all that kind of stuff, it should work just fine. Alright, so from here... Alright. I'm gonna drop the scripts into the contents, just like so. Everything's been changed script-wise. And then actually there is another. These 2 scripts are going to go inside of the mesh objects themselves. Also, same thing goes with this script. When you open it, you need to plug in your license code, and then there's a section for you to also plug in your object name / product name. So the Lily top will go in there as well. So let me do that real quick. I feel like I'm making a lot more sense than I did in my last video. So if you need to just slow down or mute me, you're watching this over, definitely do that. And hopefully I haven't confused you, because this makes much more sense in my head right now than it did earlier today. Alright, so I'm basically going to drag and drop all of these scripts into all of the mesh pieces. I opened this script off screen, I plugged it in with my license, and I also pasted the object name of the mesh. So they're already ready to go. And we're just going to drop them in, just like we did with Bosch. Nothing really different there. Except for just dealing with scripts. We don't have to deal with note cards. We don't have to deal with the description. You don't have to worry about all your UUIDs flying out there all over the world like they used to. So go ahead and let all of that stuff run. And I'm just going to kind of look around here and make sure that I'm not about to completely embarrass myself. Everything should be in working order to where we can click this and these bitches will all turn pink. You ready? Ah, yay! Yay. Okay, so it does work. We're verifying right now that everything does work. So I feel like even with the Bosch system, if you were able to get yourself to this point where you could actually make that stupid fucking HUD texture something, you can figure out how to make the more advanced HUDs with dealing with faces, dealing with groups, dealing with, I don't know, multiple pieces of mesh. It really like clicks right then. Right when you see that the textures actually changed, you're like, oh, thank fuck, I can do this. Okay, now, and then it's just repetition. You just do the same things over and over and over again. This is probably the 7th HUD I've made in 2 days because I've had to go through this over and over and like get it planted in my head and forget the Bosch days and all that kind of stuff. Forget how all of that was like set up. And trust me, like any of these texture things are fucking hard sometimes. They're very confusing, and if like you get super fumbled like I do with looking at lines of text like this, I mean, just imagine if this was even longer, you know? Just like, I mean, yo, it can just keep going, you know? Imagine if you're sitting here and you're actually editing that wall of text. This one that's probably gonna be like my downside for it, you know, just because like my eyeballs are okay, but if I'm looking at this every single time that I'm going to texture a HUD, it's going to be kind of difficult. So, but that's like pretty much my only complaint to it. I did notice inside of the manual, it said that if you had like, I'm guessing it's for like a more complicated mesh, that you can put another script in there to expand the texture memory, maybe, and you could just keep freaking going. And the more of those scripts you put in, it was this one, it said that it would like change. It would go from texture expansion 1, 2, 3, and I'm thinking, god damn, what kind of HUDs are these people making off these things? So I think you have a lot more flexibility here than with that Bosch system. And it does break my heart to even say that because that's been my go-to texture HUD system my entire time here. But I would like to start working with materials more, and that is specular and normal maps, and you could not play with those freely on that other system. But if you are newer to Second Life and you don't want to put 9,000 lindens into your texture HUD scripts, then the texture HUD and color changer from Bosch would definitely be the way to go until you're ready to do something that's a little bit more advanced. I just think that this one is much easier. Like, once you actually get it to work and it clicks, you're just like, this is fucking simple, bro. This is really not that hard. And with that big-ass glossary of text and all the different things that you can do with this, and then the updates and the add-ons, like there's all different kinds of things you can add on to it. I think the material part is an add-on. Like, there's somebody there over at PXL that is still playing Second Life, and they keep updating this thing, and that's a good thing, because that's what designers need. They need people that are still here and going to update the products. As we progress in the mesh creation journey that we all decided to embark on. So from here, honestly, it's just that simple. You can just pick everything up. And you've already set all of your permissions, so you can literally put this shit in a box and sell it. There's nothing you have to take out. everything was working, except for this one thing here. Want to make sure that you attach your HUD to your screen. Don't be toxic. Don't be like me. Because I did that 1,000 times. I didn't even fucking attach the top to the screen. So now, let's just pass this to Toxxic so she can review it and make sure that everything is working even on her side. This is the reason why I have so many alts, because this is what I do. Just like here, have some shit. Try it on for me. Let me know how it fits. Does it feel okay? And yeah, and it's like an instant... It's the instant verification that no bitch, you broke half of this shit, or yeah, everything is right. So here's the HUD. We've attached the HUD. I'm wearing legacy sleeves, legacy top. Voila. Oh. Woo! I was like, wait a second, why is it the top?
Getting paid, girl.
Getting paid, girl. Okay, so let's just go through real quick and verify that everything worked. That was a little bit laggy. It scared me, but it's fine. We're fine. So there we go. Everything works. So now this can literally be packed up and put on the marketplace, and everything's done. Super cute. Did I say that I was gonna go through here? Let's see. Alter ego. The pants. I wanted to make sure that the pants were... Oh, yeah. Different color. Totally different color. Yeah, so I'll have to, like, redo these textures anyways, because they're different. I want them to kind of be able to match the pants that I made last night, so... Looks good, though. Hey, it's working. That's all that matters. And that's the same thing that I did here, but as you can see, I put a little Linktree down there. So if you just edit link parts and you click on it, you can see that that glossary keyword was URL, and you literally just put the URL right there. And then when you click it, ta-da, you guys can go see my Linktree. And it's pretty easy. I'm assuming that's how you would do social media buttons if you wanted that on there. And there's a whole slew of them, so I invite you guys to check this product out. Definitely look at the reviews and stuff for it. I know that there's like furniture creators. I definitely know that hair creators use it. I've seen a shit ton of fashion designers use it. You guys want to know how you know that somebody is using this? Whenever you put these products on, you see all of this stuff pop up here in chat, like all of this receiver ready. If you put somebody else's item on, it's going to do that whole line of text in local, and that's pretty much how you know they've got these scripts running in it. So just something for you guys to look out for. I think I'm done talking. I mean, I don't want to add to this video right now because, like I said, I just wanted to come up here and get this like off my chest, and like I do not want to edit this damn video, so I hope I did that not so fast to where you can't like understand it, but you know, you're able to keep up with it. And I hope if you got stuck just like I did, maybe that would clear that bit up for you. And of course, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments of this video and I will answer it in the comments of the video, because I'm going to change the name of the video to be like something like PXL SmartHUD tutorial or something like that. And this will be like specially marked. You know what I was thinking about doing, and I might go ahead and do it. If I'm doing like a how-to or some kind of tutorial live stream, I'll mark them with the stars. Like if you look at the title of this video, you'll see the little stars in there. So maybe I'll just keep that a thing. If it's a tutorial live stream, it's got a star on it. So if you're wanting to learn how to do that, whatever is being taught in that live stream, that's how you differentiate those from just a live stream where I'm seriously sitting here just complaining or, you know, just working or some speedcast or something like that. But I'm going to go ahead and just end this. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And I did not pay attention to the chat, but it looks like you guys are talking to each other. So thank you for joining me this time. And I will probably pop up tomorrow sometime because I've got more custom work to do. But thank you so much. Subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see any other live streams like this, you guys want me to teach you how to do something, I'm more than willing to do it if I know how to do it. So I will let you go for now. I love your faces so much. I'll see you tomorrow. And have a great night. I fucking finally got through this video. And it's not 8 hours long. Hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, that's how we do it. Okay. Love you, Beebs. Bye.